Cane skill, responding to belt cane stops.
The pediatric belt cane is the brakes and the seatbelt safely stopping the child before the collision. The child with mobility visual impairment is the driver. Every time a cane stops a child from continuing forward towards a stationary object, it has prevented that child from encountering that obstacle without warning and provided time to decide what to do next. We'll look at maintaining balance and responding to stops that are forward, on the side, and trap the cane tips. We'll begin by looking at maintaining balance. An independent walker may fall from the first encounter with obstacle pushback, but then they often learn to steady themselves very quickly. One goal of wearing the pediatric belt cane is learning to steady themselves after being stopped suddenly by the frame. Steadying means the child is able to develop stabilizing responses in an effort to maintain upright posture after a sudden stop. Jorge demonstrates the adage, practice makes perfect. After his first fall, he has continued to improve his ability to make the adjustments needed to stay upright after a full cane stop. Children who have been walking with support can continue to rely upon that support while learning to respond to information from the pediatric belt cane. With practice and over time, Jack's teachers achieved the goal of removing supports from full support to incident support to no longer needing support.
You found the brass? Yeah, good job. You are so brave. Look at you go.
Anastasia's mom and her O&M instructor Rebecca Eiler demonstrate their method, initially continuing with full support during walking.
To the pavilion. Hold your hand.
Next, the O&M teacher demonstrates how Anastasia can use the wall for her balance support and assists her by freeing the cane tip and motivating her to continue. The next two times Anastasia's cane tip stops, she frees it independently with the sweep controlled by her hips. Becky, the O&M teacher, is encouraging Anastasia to be the belt cane driver. She allows Anastasia the time and space to independently free her cane frame while providing lots of encouragement to move. Fast forward 11 months, we see her success safely and independently moving about her cluttered classroom. Children with mobility visual impairment balance can be challenged from sudden cane stops.
Whoa! Crash.
Charna, 27 months old, is blind and has been wearing the belt cane for 3 months. She and her father take the fall in stride.
Color?
As does Audrina.
You're already looking a little bit more natural.
Thank
You found me. Well, you better catch me. Yeet. I've never seen you run so fast. I can't outrun you. What am I going to do? Whoa.
Well,
You okay?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I got stuck.
You got stuck, yep.
The cane was stuck.
Yep.
3 years old and has optic nerve hypoplasia. This is her first day ever wearing her pediatric belt cane, and this is the first time she ever felt safe enough to run.
It was just big enough.
Yes,
Just big enough.
What stops a child from moving forward could be a small protuberance, like an uneven sidewalk or change in surface, or a large protuberance, something that is an inch or higher. And it also could be a complete block, such as a wall or furniture. The goal for navigating any stop is to reinforce independent solutions. Teach the child to drive the cane in response to accessible sensory cues. For example, the child who is blind has mobility senses including hearing, touch, kinesthesia, proprioception, haptic, object perception, echolocation, and vestibular, and the child with mobility visual impairment will also have some vision. Safe strategies keep the cane tips on or close to the surface. The lower the cane lift, the better. The most effective solutions for small protuberances include push forward, sweep, tap and sweep, sweep and push. Wyatt is stopped by a small crack. His teacher uses hand-over-hand instruction to teach sweep and push. Alila is stopped by the carpet change. The action of regaining postural control independently released the cane tips and allowed her to continue forward. Children learn a lot about the cane through these accidental, independent experiences. This is an example of a small protuberance that stops Charna. For the past 2 months, she has mostly used her belt cane inside on smooth surfaces. This cracked sidewalk stops her. Her dad prompts her to lift the cane. She keeps it close to the surface, taps and sweeps to free the cane tips. New cane users often need support to understand that the cane tip is no longer stuck. Charna's dad uses prompting and motivators. Once she notices the cane is free, however, Charna uses her cane tip to learn more about the obstacle she encountered, purposefully scraping against the surface, pushing to get information, and through this experience, she will be ready for the next time. This is another example of sweeping the cane. By turning the hips, the cane tip is freed.
Kim turns the teeth in the hose.
Sweeping can also be controlled by the hands on the cane frame.
Come to the kitchen. Mommy's here. Mommy's here. Come. Whoops. Where did we go? Where did we go? There you go. The cane got stuck. Why? Yeah, what? Kitchen floor?
Fast forward a few months and she's independently freeing her cane. This is another example of tap and sweep. And Jackson's tap or lift is much closer to the ground than his mom's, and lower and closer to the ground is safer. Encourage independent solutions. When a child encounters a large protuberance, like a curb, something that can be stepped upon or over, they do not know that. We can teach them the skill of independent identification using only the senses available to the student with mobility visual impairment. Have the child who is blind employ the cane tip to learn more about the obstacle encountered by scraping against the surface, pushing against it as it is lifted. When the cane finds the top of the surface naturally, they will step closer and rest the tip on the surface, where the user can continue to scrape, sweep, and tap to get the information about the surface.
Cane is stopped, huh? Where'd that go? What is it? Is it a wall or a step? Let's find out. Oh, it's a step. Is it a good step or no? It's a grassy step. We're not going to step on that. All right, let's go down. Let's try over here. Let's check this step. Is that a good? Oh yes, that's a good step. Let's step up here, huh? All right. Up we go. Yay.
numerical visual impairment and is reminded to return her cane tip to the ground, and then is given verbal description of what the cane tip is touching and possible actions on her parts.
Let the cane tell you where all the rocky stuff is. That's right, that's right. And it says, oh, it's still a little bit rocky here. It says, you gotta pick your feet up. That's what it's telling you. It says, oh, there's a little water here, it says.
In the next two examples, the sighted adults tell the children with mobility visual impairments to pick up their canes and step up. These are examples of parents using vision, an unfair advantage to a child who is mobility visually impaired.
There's a step up. Do you think you can pick up your cane? Step up. No. There you go. You gotta step up. Come on.
An alternative would be to wait for the child to react, to use the cane tip to scrape and lift and figure out the one step independently, or with a supporting hand for balance, either in front or behind the student.
Now pick it up.
The complete block may initially feel no different from a large protuberance. To find out, the child with mobility visual impairment can probe the blockage by tapping, sweeping, scraping, and lifting the cane tip. This provides them with additional information that can be supported by an adult and assisting them in learning more about it with their hands.
Feel the snow. Feel the snow? You want to touch it? No. You want to feel it's cold? It's cold. It's cold?
To encourage independent problem solving, watch the child to notice if she is attempting to reach out towards the blockage. This is a teachable moment, a great time to introduce the concept, turn to touch and explore.
That is so good. Can you come back here? Oh, what'd you find? What did you find? Yes, let's turn over here. Let's see. What'd you find?
It is important to encourage the child to locate the block with the cane and then turn, rather than allowing them to anticipate the block and sidling up to it or backing into it. The cane needs to go first. Kennedy is 2 years old and blind, and she is a terrific example of making sure the cane frame goes first. If she were running freely without the cane frame, her body would be colliding directly into these obstacles.
Daisy gonna get you. Walk straight. Turn, turn. Keep turning. There you go. Oh, girl.
The casual observer may watch this scene and grow concerned that Charna is unable to touch the bed in front of her. Prior to wearing her pediatric belt cane, Charna didn't walk independently, and she only now walks independently, quickly, and happily because of the action of the cane frame stopping her from colliding with the bed without warning. She and her dad use turn to touch and explore. Charna's dad provided full support, helping her to turn by moving her cane and physically prompting her to turn. Notice also that the cane tips enable her to miss colliding with the ottoman. Fast forward a few minutes and she independently frees her cane stop. He has also taught her the words beep beep to signal that she needs to turn.
Ah, beat the toys. Beep beep. The bowling?
Now fast forward a
Kim,
full
do it, Johnny.
6 months of
Back
using
up,
her
back up.
pediatric belt cane. Charna now understands that when her cane stops her, she needs to seek a clear path by changing direction and using her cane frame as a probe with natural cues independently.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Turn, turn.
3-year-old Jorge has only just begun wearing his belt cane during occupational therapy sessions. He spends most of the day connected to a feeding tube. The few hours he is off the tube and into his belt cane have resulted in him finally walking independently. Jorge can turn independently, and therefore, instead of the turn prompt, the recommendation would be to suggest a specific destination. Let's go to the swing, for example. Finn, 3.5, is blind due to bilateral detached retinas. He responds well when his mom provided him a specific destination.
Mom's car's behind you. Can you turn? Good.
Now we'll look at the cane stop on one side of the cane frame. And what we'll be working towards is having the child understand that the cane should always lead the way, and sometimes they might try turning away from the block. Kennedy and China demonstrate how they stop and maneuver the cane frame to keep it in front of them after it gets caught.
Half of the cane. Do petit step. Magkaitit sa lanan tayo ko. There's a baby stand go.
Maddox at 28 months.
Oh, is there a little thing there? Yep, there's an edge. Do you feel that?
We see the transition from the first time he ever used his pediatric belt cane in his kitchen, where we see him walking sideways.
Good job, Maddox!
And his mom starts working on strategies.
Turn your body. There you go. There you go. Look at you and your new cane. What a good job. Are you feeling that there's the thing there? Yeah. So go back.
She tries go back.
Walk back a little bit. There you go. Now you got
Another option would be
good
to
job.
try turning in the other direction.
The cane is stopping from the left. Let's try the other way. Let's turn right. Hey, that worked.
The carpet causes him to walk sideways. When she sees this, she physically assists Maddox to keep the cane frame in front.
Is it turning? You want to turn with it or you want to bring it forward? Let's grab it and bring it forward. There we go. Yay!
We fast forward to 30 months old. The same carpet presents no problem. Maddox has learned to keep the cane frame in front. 3 years old, Charna demonstrates why it is so important to keep the cane frame in front. The cane frame is stuck behind her, and she has no warning about the downstairs. Evan, 32 months, with bilateral retina detachments and columbomas, is demonstrating difficulty following verbal cues to control his cane frame.
I'm over here.
Jackson is also having difficulty with a verbal cue only. His mom then provided him a physical prompt with assistance to demonstrate the meaning of her verbal request. Charna falls down when the side of the cane frame is stopped by a rubber surface. Her dad used it as a teachable moment.
Stay off. Kim, stay off. Stay off. Dat tegelijkertijd? Stay off. Kim, wat ze doen? Hij het off. This is the rubber. Rubber.
Charna then continued to explore the physical and motor sensations of navigating this more challenging surface, which looks like a fun, independent playground activity for a child who is blind and 2 years old.
Whoa! Whoa! Careful of the rubber. Kim off the rubber, high above the cane. Eye above the cane, eye above the cane. Eye above the cane. Was ist geschehen? Was ist so? A park. Here's the Kinder.
Sometimes the cane tips can become trapped in an obstacle. Our role is to help the child identify that is the problem and provide prompts as needed, such as physical assistance and verbal cues until we solve the problem.
Outside, outside, yup. Come on. Come on.
If you look closely, Elila's left cane tip is trapped front and back by her dad's heavy boot. She has only been wearing her belt cane for a few days. This cane tip stop is difficult to recognize, and she's not alerting her mom to the problem. Jack's cane becomes trapped between the wall and block, and his teacher uses hand-over-hand physical prompt and verbal cues to assist in freeing the cane tips.
Stop. You have to lift it up. There we go. Now go to your table. Time to go.
After 2 months of wearing her pediatric belt cane, Charna has learned to seek assistance when her cane frame gets trapped. First, her father tries just verbal cues.
Alright, you be stuck? You're stuck? Move back. Back up. Eh-oh, eh-oh. Lelu, lelu.
And since that didn't work, her dad provides her with full physical assistance and verbal prompts in response to Charna's requests.
Alright, Charlie's stuck. Charlie's cane is stuck. Alright, Kim. Move back. Move back. Okay, move back. And then. Kim, we got to set up them. Tata got to set up them.
After 4 months, she seeks assistance, and he provides her with physical support, backing up, and then encourages her to turn independently with verbal cue and food
turn
motivators.
around. Tati's there. Okay, Tati got to the dining room, okay? Let's go. Kim. Okay, Kim, Tati.
Now fast forward 10 months wearing her pediatric belt cane. Charna is freeing herself from cane traps. And then she seeks to investigate them before moving on.
Bobby's Kiggle. Ja, wie ist das Schabbestisch? Bobby's Schabbestisch. And Bobby's, what's not let's do Bobby's. This is the wooden chunk. The box. There's Bobby's stick.
Charna is expert at using her cane frame as a probe to investigate everything with it. She is also able to fix her cane and then demonstrate why wearing the pediatric belt cane near the dinner table improves her safety.
Fix the cane, mach it straight. Very good. Oopsie, beep beep. Who is the Benkel? Look, come on, guy. That's the chair. Oh, it's stuck.
And another 6 months later, she independently frees her cane tips when they're trapped.
You want to sit?
Children's playgrounds can seem like giant cane tip traps. At no point does Leia ask to take her pediatric belt cane off. For her, with cortical visual impairment and her lower field loss, having this warning and learning how to navigate the steps is fun. And it leads not only to safety, but safe independence. It will take time, patience, and understanding to achieve playground pediatric belt cane mastery. Are you ready for the adventure?
You know this morning I went in.
Okay, we gotta. You want to go up here? You gotta pull it out from under. There, like that.
This is an example of a place where if the cane falls down the crack and the child steps through, they would have a little trouble. So we want to watch out for that and have them step back, pull the cane back, turn it to the side.
Good girl. Okay, we just gotta bring it up. Just gotta put it up on top.
I think it's
Here we go. Woo! Thank you. There we go. Hold on to the. Here you go. Much better. Yay! We did it. Nicely done.
Contacting movable objects like feet that suddenly disappear is often the first cane stop experienced by new users. We've saved the best for last. The power of safe self-confidence seen in Leia and Charna among their peers is the true benefit of moving about wearing the pediatric belt cane. Leia accidentally walks through two children playing on the playground. She is mostly nonverbal, so her teacher intervenes.
She's only 3.
Notice Leia turn and listen, and then turn away and go play on her own.
right now I'm 4.5.
Oh, yeah, you're much
I'm
bigger.
4.5.
You guys are big kids.
That means we live in Freakin'.
And you go skiing in
Charna's first trip down the hallway. Her older sister blocks her path and her dad intervenes.
Beep beep. Beep beep.
The trip back up the hallway, her middle sister picks a fight by purposefully stepping on her cane tips and pushing them around.
Honey, numbers.
Charna uses her pediatric belt cane to locate her and push back. A very healthy response as she makes a speedy getaway. Safe Toddles. Our mission is to provide blind toddlers with a solution for walking independently with safety.
safetoddles.org/donate.
For more information, contact us. This curriculum was funded by a grant through the IES Department of Education.